Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about two features your camera should have in order for you to make beautiful and compelling street and travel photos. I've been doing travel photography and street photography for over 30 years, and I've traveled to about 50 different countries. While good gear won't necessarily make you a better photographer, it will sometimes allow you to do more things. And also, bad gear might limit what you're capable of doing as well. On the one hand, there's the argument of the best camera is the one in your pocket, as if a smartphone is all that you need. And while I agree smartphones can be useful in many situations, they are not all that you need, and in fact, in many ways, I think they're inferior. In my opinion, the answer is really rather simple. You need two things: versatility and subtlety. That's all that matters. So in the rest of this video, I'm going to explain these two characteristics in greater detail and show you two cameras that I use that offer both of these traits and that I really enjoy. I should note that my channel is very small, it's not sponsored, so these opinions are just my own. First, let's talk about versatility. I want a camera that's going to allow me to take pictures at different focal lengths at high quality, both wide angle and telephoto. A fixed prime lens won't do this. So if I'm going to use such a lens, it should be on a camera that allows for interchangeable lenses. An alternative could be a zoom lens of some sort. I also want a camera that lets me easily toggle in between shutter speed, aperture, and ISO so that I can adjust those settings manually. This will allow me to control my depth of field, to freeze or blur motion, and to shoot in all sorts of lighting conditions. So in my opinion, smartphones simply don't cut it. I think the quality of photos at longer focal lengths is just inferior. And it's hard to control many things manually, such as shutter speed, or aperture in some cases, or of course ISO. It's certainly hard to control them if you have to move quickly. And also, on sunny days, my iPhone screen is just hard to see, so often I wind up missing a lot of shots. Plus, finally, the ergonomics of smartphones, in my opinion, are pretty bad, and it just for me detracts from the overall enjoyment of going out and taking photos. So for versatility, smartphones are out. Fixed prime lenses on cameras that don't allow for interchangeable lenses are out too. So no Fuji X100 V or 6. Everything else is still in. DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, and even some compact cameras. Now let's look at subtlety. If you live in London, New York, or Paris, you can take your big DSLR out on the street and take loads of photos, and chances are nobody's really going to care. They're used to seeing that, it's just not that big of a deal. However, let me assure you this is not the case in most of the rest of the world. I've lived in both East and West Africa, and Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. In many countries of these regions, people do not want you to take street photos. Certainly not of them, and often not even of buildings or streets around them. So if you go out and take pictures and you have a big camera, people are going to know what you're doing, they're going to come up and question you, they may complain, you may even have unfriendly exchanges and have to delete your photos. In a worst case scenario, you may even get detained by a security guard or the police, as has happened to me. Even if you don't have such problems, the very thought that you might have them raises the stress level when you want to go out and take photos, and after a while, that gets tiring. This is supposed to be fun. So my answer to that would be to go out and operate as discreetly as possible. This way you minimize the likelihood of anyone knowing what you're doing. Now some people might say, well, that's why I use a smartphone. Everybody has smartphones, and so people are just used to that. Well, I would disagree. I think smartphones aren't that small, and they're not that discreet. And when you tilt them up to take a photo, I think a lot of people can pretty easily recognize what you're doing. The angle you're using and the look you have, it just looks different than when you're texting or reading a map. Yeah, you could go out and really quickly flip the thing up and down, but that often results in a blurred shot. And you don't have the option of holding it at waist level and being able to see what you're taking a picture of as you would with the camera with a flip out screen. And then the versatility issue comes back into play. You have to quickly set your settings and then flip up and then take the picture, and you're going to miss your shot. And really, I mean, is this the kind of experience you want to have? So to be discreet, the camera has to be small. It has to be a camera you can hold up to your eye, or one that has a flip out screen that you can keep down at your waist level. This way you can look down at your screen or even shoot from the hip, all while keeping an eye on your subject. It'll allow you to use a fast shutter speed so you can quickly capture the motion without having to really worry about blurred shots. So if we need a small discrete camera, DSLRs are out, large mirrorless cameras are out, cameras with large lenses are out, smartphones are out. What's left? small mirrorless cameras, small rangefinder cameras, and perhaps some compact cameras. Size matters, and it's good to be small. So with these small cameras, you can go out and stay pretty discreet. So now let me show you the two cameras that I use for urban and travel photography. I like these cameras a lot because they're fun to use, they're versatile, and they allow me to photograph discreetly. First and foremost is my Sony Rx100 Mark VII. It's a small compact camera with an 18 to 200 millimeter built-in zoom lens. Extremely versatile when it comes to focal lengths. Not only does it let me set focal length, but I can go into full manual mode. I can set aperture, shutter speed, ISO, exposure compensation, and/or any combination of all of these. Autofocus is excellent, as Sony's known for that. At 20 megapixels, the resolution is pretty good. Not fantastic at 200 millimeters, but not awful either. Not great in really low lighting conditions, but not awful, and very, very good when it's bright. The resolution overall is generally sharp. Shut up, bird. And best of all, I can fit this little sucker in my pocket and no one knows I'm carrying it around. If I hold it up right to my face, sometimes people won't even notice. I can cusp my hands over the entire camera and maybe it looks like I'm scratching my eyeball or something because people aren't going to necessarily understand what I'm doing. This is a wonderful camera for street photography in different lighting conditions, different environments, and especially less than friendly environments. My second camera is a Fuji X Pro 3, which I bought used a couple of years ago. Like many people, I love Fuji because of the colors and the richness of the photos and the ability to experiment with different film simulations. I love the ergonomics. It's more tactile, easier on the hands, and just more fun to hold than the Sony. Fuji's autofocus is not as good as the Sony, so I've lost more shots due to the inability to focus quickly, but most of the time it works pretty well. It's a little bigger than the Sony, so the Fuji X Pro 3 is maybe a little bit less discreet in that regard. It still fits in a large pocket and it's easy to carry around. The picture quality is fantastic. You can set everything to automatic or manual and just decide what you want to do. The viewfinder, I might add, is magnificent, way, way better than Sony's, and it's just a pleasure to look out and see. So that's really it. You only need two things, versatility and subtlety. All the rest doesn't really matter. So, I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, and if you find this useful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.